Imagine waking up one morning, checking your bank account, and seeing your Social Security check is smaller, not by a few dollars, not by 10 or 20, but by hundreds of dollars every single month. No warning, no choice, just gone. That is not a nightmare. That is exactly what government officials are now saying could happen to over 63 million Americans by the year 2032, and the scariest part? Most retirees have absolutely no idea this is coming. Welcome to Retire Rich News, the channel that gives you the real information, the information they don't put on the front page, so you can protect your retirement before it's too late. If you are someone who receives Social Security, or if you are planning to retire in the next 5 to 15 years, you need to stay with me for this entire video, because what I am about to share with you is not a political opinion. It is not a theory. It came directly from the official United States Government Trustees Report released just days ago, and the numbers are alarming. Let's start from the very beginning so you understand exactly what is happening and why it matters to you personally. Social Security has what is called a trust fund. Think of it like a savings account. For decades, workers across America have been paying into this account through their paychecks, that little deduction you see called FICA every time you get paid. That money goes into the Social Security Trust Fund, and when you retire, the government uses that fund to send you your monthly benefit check. For a long time, more money was going into the trust fund than was going out. The system was working. But over the last several years, something has shifted. More people are retiring. The baby boomer generation, one of the largest generations in American history, is now collecting benefits in massive numbers. And at the same time, fewer younger workers are paying in to replace that money. The result is that the trust fund is being drained, slowly at first, but now faster and faster. And the government's own report, the 2026 Social Security Trustees Report, just confirmed the most serious warning yet. According to the official report released this month, the Social Security Retirement Trust Fund is now projected to be completely exhausted by the year 2032. That is just 6 years away. 6 years. And when that happens, if Congress does nothing between now and then, the law says Social Security can only pay out what it collects in that month from current workers. No more dipping into the trust fund, because the trust fund will be empty. What does that mean in real numbers for you? It means every single person receiving Social Security, regardless of your age, your income, or how long you paid into the system, could see their monthly check cut by 22% automatically. 22%. If you are currently receiving $2,000 a month, that becomes $1,560. If you are receiving $1,500 a month, that becomes $1,170. That is real money. That is groceries. That is your electric bill. That is your medication. Gone every single month for the rest of your life. And here is what makes this even more serious. This is not a new problem that suddenly appeared. The government has known about this issue for over 40 years. 40 years of warnings, 40 years of reports, and 40 years of Congress kicking the can down the road, doing nothing, hoping someone else would fix it later. But now later has almost arrived. The Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, which is a watchdog group that tracks government finances, released a statement saying that Social Security is on a collision course toward insolvency, and that the program's financial imbalance has reached its most severe point in nearly 50 years. 50 years. The last time things were this bad was 1983, and back then President Reagan and Congress had to come together in an emergency agreement to save the program at the very last minute. That is how close it got. And experts are now saying we are right back at that same cliff edge, except this time, Washington seems even less interested in working together to solve it. Now, I want to make sure you understand something very important here, because there is a common misconception that confuses a lot of people. When we say the trust fund becomes insolvent, it does not mean Social Security disappears completely. It does not mean your checks stop arriving. What it means is that the program can only pay out what it collects each month in payroll taxes from current workers, and based on current projections, that would cover only about 78 cents of every dollar promised, which translates to that 22% cut we just talked about. So the checks keep coming, they just get significantly smaller, and for millions of American seniors who depend on Social Security for more than half of their monthly income, that reduction could be absolutely devastating. If you are finding this information valuable and you want to stay ahead of the changes that affect your retirement, this is the perfect moment right now to hit that like button and subscribe to Retire Rich News. We cover exactly these kinds of stories every week, the real financial news that affects real retirees, explained in plain English with no confusing jargon. Tap subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a video. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps us keep making content like this for you. Now let's talk about who is most at risk here, because not everyone will feel this equally. The seniors who will be hit hardest by a 22% benefit cut are the ones who depend on Social Security as their primary or only source of income, and that number is staggering. Studies show that approximately 73% of seniors rely on Social Security for more than half of their monthly income, and about 39% rely on it entirely, meaning Social Security is their only paycheck. For these Americans, a cut of even $100 or $200 a month is not an inconvenience. It is a crisis. It means choosing between buying groceries or paying the utility bill. It means skipping a prescription because the copay is suddenly too high. It means asking adult children for help when you spent your whole life working so you would never have to do that. This is the human reality behind these government numbers. Now here is where things get even more complicated because Social Security is not the only program facing this crisis. Medicare, the health insurance program that covers Americans 65 and older, is facing its own insolvency deadline. The same 2026 Trustees Report found that the Medicare Hospital Insurance Trust Fund is projected to run out of money by 2033. That is just 1 year after Social Security. If Medicare becomes insolvent, it would only be able to pay about 89% of promised benefits, meaning an 11% cut in payments to hospitals and doctors. And when hospitals and doctors get paid less, they start turning away Medicare patients. Access to care gets harder, wait times get longer, and the seniors who need medical attention the most are the ones who suffer. We are talking about a potential double crisis, your retirement income getting cut and your healthcare coverage getting cut, hitting at almost exactly the same time. So what is Congress doing about all of this? That is the question everyone wants answered. And the honest answer is not much. Not yet. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agree the problem exists, but they disagree completely on how to fix it. Some Republican lawmakers have suggested raising the retirement age, which would mean future retirees would wait longer before collecting benefits. Others have proposed means testing, which would reduce or eliminate benefits for seniors who have income or savings above a certain threshold. Some proposals would cut benefits for households earning as little as $59,000 a year, which is firmly middle-class territory, not wealthy, not rich, middle class. On the other side, many Democrats and advocacy groups are pushing to raise taxes on higher income earners to bring more money into the system. The AARP has called on Congress to act immediately, with their CEO publicly stating that no family should see any cuts to what they have earned through Social Security. But as of right now, there is no deal on the table. There is no emergency session. There is no bipartisan agreement being negotiated. Washington is, as one budget watchdog described it, sleepwalking into a retirement crisis. The Social Security Commissioner himself was asked directly during a congressional hearing whether benefit cuts are coming in 2032. His answer was careful but telling. He said that it is up to Congress to solve the issue, essentially confirming that without action from lawmakers, the math does not work out. 6 years is not a long time. It sounds far away, but think about it this way. If you are 61 years old today, you will be 67 in 2032, right at full retirement age when the trust fund is projected to run dry. If you are 55 today, you will be 61. If you have been counting on Social Security as a cornerstone of your retirement plan, the clock is ticking loudly right now. So what can you actually do about this? Because I never want to leave you with just bad news and no direction. Here is what smart retirees and pre-retirees are doing right now to protect themselves. First, if you have not already claimed Social Security and you are approaching retirement age, it is worth sitting down with a financial advisor to map out different claiming scenarios, because the timing of when you start collecting can make a significant difference in your total lifetime benefits. Second, if you are still working, now is the time to maximize contributions to any retirement accounts you have access to, whether that is a 401(k), an IRA, or a Roth IRA. The more you build in your own personal savings, the less you are dependent on Social Security alone. Third, look at your current monthly budget and identify where you could reduce expenses if your income were to decrease. Having that plan ready now means you are not scrambling in a panic later. Fourth, stay informed, read the actual government reports, follow channels like Retire Rich News that break down these complex topics in plain language. Knowledge is your most powerful protection against financial surprises. One more thing worth mentioning, and this is something most news coverage completely ignored. The 2026 Trustees Report also found that the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which included a new $6,000 tax deduction for seniors 65 and older, while helpful to many retirees on the tax side, actually reduces the amount of tax revenue flowing into the Social Security system, which means the very legislation designed to help seniors in one area may be making the long-term Social Security funding problem slightly worse. It is a complicated trade-off, and it is exactly the kind of nuance that gets lost when media covers these stories. In 30-second sound bites, at Retire Rich News, we believe you deserve the full picture, not just the headline. Here is the bottom line. The United States government has officially confirmed that Social Security's retirement trust fund will run out of money in 2032, just 6 years from now, without congressional action that triggers an automatic 22% cut to every single benefit check. Medicare faces a similar crisis. 1 year later, the problem has been building for decades and Washington has repeatedly failed to act. Tens of millions of retirees are at risk, and most of them have no idea this conversation is even happening right now. You watch this video, you now know, and that puts you ahead of the majority of people who will be caught completely off guard when this becomes front page news. Use this information, share it with someone you care about, a parent, a sibling, a friend who is approaching retirement. They deserve to know this too. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you worried about Social Security's future? Have you already made changes to your retirement plan because of this? I read every single comment and I want to hear from you. And if you have not subscribed to Retire Rich News yet, please do it right now. Every week we bring you the financial news that matters most to your retirement, explained clearly, honestly, and without the noise. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you in the next video. Stay informed and retire rich.